Hello again, fellow traders. In this episode, we will modify the expert advisor we completed in the previous two episodes. So if you haven't watched those and would like to follow along, I suggest you start from the beginning, episode 1.0. Now, first of all, in this episode, we need to correct one thing in our first EA. If you remember the design, we set the delay parameter to act as both the delay for the new bar function in here and at the same time a number of candles at which the EA should look back to decide whether to enter buy or sell trade. So this is how many times we loop. So this is the same thing. The delay should be the same as the number of loops and therefore the number of candles that the expert advisor looks at. What we have done, however, is we hard-coded the delay of 1 instead. So now we need to modify that. Now, one thing here, if we want the EA to scan, for example, 2 bars back every other bar, so covering all bars, we need to modify the new bar parameter by -1. So it has to be bars scanned, but -1. Why so? Because basically for 1 bar scanned, the delay has to be 0, there is no delay. So we've got that out of the way. Now, on to today's episode. Let's modify the trade all bars EA to contain a stop loss mechanism as well. So let's create new file again, expert advisor. Let's say trade all bars stop loss, right? And basically we just want to copy everything from our original to the new one. But we'll just add one condition to the if clause at the end, saying if the account profit is greater than profit taking value, which we have defined here, then it's going to close our orders. But we're going to say or account profit is smaller than minus, let's say, loss stopping, to stick to our convention. And then it's going to close all orders as well, right? So this will be another variable, extern double. I'm giving it a double just in case the user wants to be very specific, but it could very well be an integer. And now, since the users will probably forget to put the minus in the front, we're just going to declare it in positive and add the minus in here. And once we compile that, it's ready and it will close all the orders. So now we have created 2 variants of our trade all bars expert advisor. It's time to test them both and see if any of them could make a profit. Now, backtest is a very good way to see if the expert advisor is working as intended, that is, if the strategy is coded correctly, and also to give you a rough idea which values of external parameters should be used. However, it should be noted that any optimization made for past data does not guarantee nor even indicate profits in the future. This is what you hear from all those advisors on TV and YouTube say, and basically it's now a clause required by law in some countries, and for a good reason. Now, taking this into account, the method for backtesting in our case will be as follows. First, we'll backtest the EA on a base period, let's say 1 month. running on several key time frames, let's say 1 minute, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, and so on. Unless one of the optimized parameters would account for the time period change, then we wouldn't do this, or the strategy is specifically meant for one specific period time frame. Then we will run the EA again on those time frames, but on a period of data subsequent to the base period. The rule is, the EA should maintain at least positive result in the period following the base period. This way we will have a reasonable chance that if we perform optimization on a current period, the parameters will yield positive results in the future as well. Still no certainty, but at least an educated guess. So first let's prepare our MetaTrader for backtesting. What we have to do is to go to the MetaTrader itself and go to History Center, press F2. Now, as you can see, I already have a selected Euro Euro Pound basically, with 1 minute data already preloaded. If you double click on a time period, you will see that there is probably already your broker's data in there. Now, if you don't have that, or you're not certain whether the data is reliable, then we need to download some reliable history data. There are 3 options here. We can use the MetaQuotes data that we can get really easy by downloading in this button here, on the download button, but it is not really recommended in any source. You can use the broker's history, which is already pre-filled usually, or download the history from an external source. Usually you have to pay some fee, but there are also some free data sources out there. Now I will use my broker's data because so far it seemed the most reliable set. To make sure your history is clean, you can select everything. So select the first entry, then go down to the bottom, shift click, so to select all, and delete that. Once you have deleted that, you close it, and basically now you have no data recorded. We will get the data back when we start backtesting. I already have my backtester opened, but if you don't, you can just go to View and Strategy Tester. Alternatively, press Ctrl-R on PC. And let's see how the first expert advisor, the one without the stop loss functionality, will perform. We will do a control run first to see if the EA behaves as we want it to. So let's set our EA in here. This is the first one. We'll use the Euro Pound. Let me just double check. It was Euro Yen, yes, Euro Yen, just to make sure. There it is. Now remember, we have no data for this one. But look what happens. I will test it out on, let's say, last couple of days. So I will use May 26th till, April 26th till May 1st. Right? Today is May the 2nd, so I rather not use the current data from today. We're going to set the expert properties in here, and as you can see, these are the properties that we have named as external integers within our EA. So I will scan only one bar to get a lot of results, as much result as possible, and our profit taking will be left at default 30. For the start, step and stop parameters, we don't look at them for now. They will come in handy when we start the optimization. So that is okay. Now, if we don't have any data already preloaded, what I advise you to do is just slow down your EA as much as possible, because otherwise you may run into an error that the MetaTrader won't find any data. I will select 1 minute to get as much action as possible, and let's start the test. As you can see, no history for this one, for the period we want to have. So let's open the Euro Yen in this case. Now the MetaTrader should have downloaded this automatically, but I see it didn't. We'll open the chart and just scroll through the bars. Now once we have that, you see, we already can start the test. I just want to look if the expert advisor did what it was supposed to do. So according to our strategy, it should have entered practically every bar because it was only looking at one bar behind it, and therefore the delay was 0. And as you can see, every single bar was initiated. Now what you're going to see is at some point it stops. It may for you, it may or may not for you, but for me it did. And what is happening in this case is that once I try to open order number 101, so I can open orders until 100, and after that I get an error 148. This means that there are too many trades that I'm trying to open at any given point. And this is because of my broker's limit. Now, what the backtester does not show is that with a small deposit, this will get a margin call very quickly. When I run it on a demo account with a balance of 1000 and the new bar function set to no delay, as in here, I had a margin call within 32 trades. So within 32 trades, my margin consumed entire account. If you do not have a stop loss mechanism, like without any kind of specific protection mechanism, for such a case, if the market goes wrong way, your account will get wiped very, very quickly. So I don't really think it's worth looking at this expert advisor anymore because it's just too risky. Now we may just continue with the simulation and see what kind of results we get. Unsurprisingly, it's a negative one, although yes, so it's a steadily declining. That's because we don't have any stop loss, we don't have any take profit, and the market just went against us when our expert advisor choked on trades, and it couldn't do anything about it because there, it got stuck. The same thing would happen with the margin call, except your trades would get stopped out by your server, which is probably bad enough as well. So let's just move on to the next expert advisor. That will be the stop loss one. Now, let's just run it and see if how it figures out its way. You see, you can already see it is taking a lot more trades because every now and then it gets to do this huge closing. You see, this is the point where it closes, either for take profit or stop loss, I don't know. The blue lines are take profit, the red lines are bad trades, so stop losses. And as you can see, it could continue. So the report says it's a negative. It's even worse than the original one. So, but at least you can see the equity line here just drops and then goes up and drops and drops and drops and drops and drops. So we can see that our stop loss was hit more often than take profit, our, so to speak, congregate take profit. So what I will do now is go to the optimization, and we will start with these parameters. However, we will start with the default parameters, but we'll give it, we'll increase them. So we'll increase the bar scanned from 2 to 4 to 6 until we reach 12. We will also try profit taking from 20 to 130, or rather 140 more likely. And also the stop loss will be the same. So let's hit OK. Now we need to check the optimization, and I will go back 1 month. So I will start at March and end at March 30th, so exactly 30 days. We'll check the optimization period. The visual mode would uncheck it, will uncheck itself, and let's start. Of course, we have no data, remember. Scroll back until we reach March. This way we'll just download the data. Look at the data counter as I scroll back, you see? I'm downloading data right now. Okay, we reach February, so let's try to start our expert advisor, and it goes. So we now know that it is running. Let it run, see what kind of results we come up with the default settings. We don't have the optimization yet at this point. There we go. Optimization, results, report minus 388. That's really bad. Now, before we go any further, we want to uncheck the skip useless results option, because then we will, in the optimization run, we will miss all the negative results and we will need them anyway. So let's do that right now. Uncheck the skip useless results, and then let's once again start the optimization. We have our settings here. Let's click OK. Now, for now, maybe let's do a bigger step. Let's do a step of 40 for both and a step of 4 for this one, so that we don't have to wait so long, and we'll get an idea where the best possible parameters are. We'll go with 200, something, right? So let's just go, yeah, 40 is good. Okay, so let's start. And now you won't see any visual mode. What you will see, however, is that we have 100 passes and the expert advisor will do 100 simulations. Why 100? Alright, so we have already rejected one strategy as too risky and generally not profitable. Stay tuned for the results of the backtest on the second version of this EA with a congregate stop loss included. We'll analyze the data and see if this will be our path to making money on Forex. Till that time, trade well and prosper.